In today's video, I'm going to show you how to become a 7-figure salesperson. Now, how do you get enough business as a salesperson, enough to move you significantly beyond your current threshold? When I see your current threshold, maybe before now, your sales income has been at hundreds of thousands or just almost close to $1 million or even just a few millions. How do you move it beyond that current threshold? More like adding an extra zero. What are the things you need to do? I'm going to show you how in today's video. I want you to stay to the end of this video because at the end, we're going to show you one of the most significant things I've learned as regards selling, such that you can be able to pick your battles wisely. I've been in sales for a while. As an organization, we've trained over 23,000 salespeople across 5 countries, Nigeria, Ghana, USC, and UAE. I, as a person, when I worked in the industry, I was able to grow a portfolio from $3.5 million to $7 million in 11 months. I was able to bring in 21 HNIs to my organization. I went for a sales competition, and I was top salesperson. I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I've also been an author of 5 books on sales, and these are some of the techniques that I've used over the years to be able to move financially from one level to another. And the first thing is this: there has to be a strong desire. The fruit of desire is pursuit. The fruit of desire is pursuit. This means that if you really desire something, one of the signs that you desire that thing is that you go for it. In a race, you discover that, in fact, not even just in a race, in sports generally, for example, you notice that players, when they practice, when they train, maybe people in the same team, they go through the same training with the coach. I used to be a basketball player when I was in university, and I remember when we go for training sessions with the coach, he exposes us to very rigorous exercises. All of us in the team, we are exposed to the same rigorous exercises. However, when we get on the pitch to play, our games are different. Now, one of the things I've noticed differentiates players is a strong desire. There are many things that could fuel the desire. It could be, why do I want to succeed? Oh, I want to do it because of my family. I want to do it because I don't want to be embarrassed. I want to do it because I deserve to be number one. Whatever reason is left to the individual. But the point is that everybody needs to be able to find their desire. I remember listening to a program by an Australian billionaire, Peter J. Daniels. And in that program, he talked about how to stay motivated all the time. And in that video, I will never forget, he said, the first thing you need to know about being motivated all the time is the fact that your motivation is your responsibility. You can't really tie your motivation to somebody else and say, oh, if the economy is doing well, I'll be motivated. If my boss is nice to me, I'll be motivated. If I see that my commission is going to be double, I'll be motivated. You must find what motivates you, such that the desire will be strong enough for you to go the extra mile and pursue to achieve the 7 figures that you desire. The second thing is, you need to know the exact figure you're looking at. How much do you want to make this year? Where have you been playing before now? A new year gives you a new milestone to start to build on. Maybe before now, the highest amount of money you've seen is 900K. Maybe before now is $1 million. And you're saying, hey, I want to move this thing to 5, or I want to move this thing to 10. Whatever new level you're looking at, write it down. Write it down. God is wiser than us. He's the one that said, write the vision, make it plain, so that he that reads it will run with it. So take action, write it down. This is how much I want to make this year. Then you'll now practice what we call personal strategic planning. Personal strategic planning means when you have a goal as a salesperson, you want to break that goal down. There are people who, they don't really take out time to plan. They are so much in a hurry to go out and do what they need to do. They feel, as we're planning, we're wasting time. Let us go out in the field. If you've been doing this thing, the way you've been doing it before now, if it has not moved you financially to a new level, this is a new year. Why don't you decide to try things out differently? Why don't you say to yourself, see, I've been doing this thing this way, and this is the income that is coming. It means that there is something I'm not doing right. You must take 100% responsibility for your life. You must take 100% responsibility for your outcome. The beautiful thing about being in sales is the fact that as a salesperson, you are not working for your company. You're not working for anybody. You're working for yourself. What you put into yourself is what will come out in your sales results. Your sales results are a direct reflection of your self-belief, your personal investments in yourself. So have new actions so that you can have new results. And the new action I'm telling you now is that decide this year, whatever your budget is, if you say your budget is 1 billion or 500 million, whatever it is, decide what the goal is for you. It's one thing for your organization to give you a budget. It's another thing to be able to decide, this is what I want to do. If you miss that budget, will it be enough to give you the income you desire? Will it be enough? If you know it's not be enough, readjust that budget. Because in the first place, if the budget they gave you is the readjusted one you want to make right now, you won't have resigned. You'd have still gone after it. Be ambitious and take bold steps this year as regards what you want to earn. The world is tougher than ever, more wicked than ever. And there's a saying that when things get tougher, don't pray for things to become easier. Rather, pray to become stronger. Do everything you need to do to become stronger. So have a session of planning with yourself and break these goals down. The last days of the year, this is a time of reflection. Break those goals down. Oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do monthly. This is what I'm going to do weekly or quarterly. This is what I'm going to do daily. Whatever works for you, break it down. The third thing you're going to do after that is you now want to see it in your mind. Because see, if you don't see it in your mind, it will not happen. Success leaves clues. People who have succeeded in every industry, if you listen to them, if you read their biographies and autobiographies, watch their videos, you will hear them say the same thing. There's a direct connection between your mind, your hand, and your outcome. This means that you can't decide that I just want to make sure that I do the right thing I'm supposed to do. If you only do the right thing you're supposed to do, but you don't align your thoughts, align your mind, it will affect your outcome. If you only focus on your mind and you don't do the things you need to do, it will affect your outcome. The three must align. There must be an alignment between your mind, the things you do, and the kind of results you want to produce. So you want to get pictures. What does it look like when you have succeeded? See, if you've been trying before now, you've been trying, but you just can't seem to rise beyond a certain point. The major issue a lot of times is in your thinking. I remember I had a salesperson work with me many years ago, and I had been training people. We go for training programs, we teach these concepts, and he's actually seeing salespeople transform. But this guy was in my team, and he had not been able to sell. Despite the fact that all these techniques we have been showing them, we have been showing people, he had been seeing it transform their lives. So I sat him one day and I said, see, how come all these things we are teaching others, you can't just seem to get it. You can't just seem to get the sales. What do you think the issue is? So I actually took time to go through the material with him and I said, okay, have you been practicing this one? Guess what it was? Imagination. Have you been practicing imagination? Have you started to see yourself succeed? Have you started to imagine yourself do well, meet the budget, get in the sales? And when you started to practice that, ladies and gentlemen, sales came. Sales came. So I don't want you to think that, I've been hearing about imagination, I've been hearing about vision, I've been hearing about seeds in your mind, all these things. Let me just go and look for business. How would that thing be money into my pocket? Don't say those kind of things. Put the principles to work. Create the picture in your mind. I remember when we were about to go for the World Cup, there was a competition in our organization then, and the competition says whoever sells 10 credit cards in 3 days will be sent for the World Cup all expense paid trip. 10 credit cards in 3 days. It was almost, as far as I was concerned, it didn't make any sense. Because the average target for every salesperson was 4 in a month. If you had to do 4 in a month, that means 1 per week. And you struggled, you couldn't even do it. Then somebody comes and says, do 10 in 3 days. How in the world would you do? How? but something happened. Somebody said to me, she said, Yuri, remember, you were the one that have just sold to 21 high net worth individuals in 1 month. So I believe you can go for this target. And when she said that to me, I said, what? That's true. And I went for it. Now, I remember, there's a part of this story I don't talk about so much. And it's this part. When I had gotten, in 2 days, I had gotten 10. And the lady who was in charge of that product came to my branch and she says, wow, you've already got 10? That's amazing. She went back in to check and they disqualified like 3 of my cards, meaning that I was short of 10, but I was down to 7. And it now looked like, man, this all expense paid trip to the World Cup that we have been promised. It looked like, man, it's going to elude me. So what I did was that I went back. I went again. I remember waking up that morning. I remember that room. When I got up that morning, I said to myself, I said, man, I have to go for this World Cup. I got pictures of Brazil. I got pictures of the various stadia we're going to use for the football matches. And I started to see myself in Brazil. I started to see those pictures. I remember before I go to bed at night, I will sleep off seeing those images. When I wake up in the morning, I'll be seeing those images and I'll be saying words to myself. There is an effort to get to a goal. There is an effort. Life is not a reward. Because you exist doesn't mean that things will work automatically. There are things that you must do. And one of them is that you must see images, pictures of yourself winning. What does it look like if you've become a 7-figure salesperson? What does it look like? Do you see yourself standing in front of your organization and they are rewarding you top salesperson? Do you see yourself collecting an award? When you practice imagination, you want to do it through your 5 senses. This means that you want to see something, you want to hear something, you want to smell something, you want to taste something, and you want to feel something. So make sure that your 5 senses are engaged, because it's going to trigger the universe and start to bring things your way and start to attract opportunities your way. You must practice these things. If you do, there will be radical change. So see it. What does it look like? How does it feel? What did you hear when you got 7 figures? Is it the credit alert? Was it the text message you saw? Were you in an air-conditioned room when the message came in that, this is the amount of money you have earned? You must see it. And the 4th point, you must have what we call a sense of destiny. A sense of destiny. I remember Winston Churchill. The story I read by Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill talked about when he was practicing or training in India in his early years as a young man. He said one day, while they had just finished training, some people had been ambushed by the enemy. And when he had ambushed him, he said while he was on his horse, he shot the soldier to the left, he shot the soldier to the right. Despite all the bullets and all the exchange of firearms, he said when he was done, he noticed that he wasn't hurt and he had been able to escape from those men. And he thought to himself, he said from that day, he knew that there was a sense of destiny at work in him. He knew that he was called for higher things. Now, in the same way, do you believe that you are called for higher things? Do you believe that there's a sense of destiny at work in you? Somebody says, but which one is destiny? We're talking about sales here. Yes, because when we talk about destiny, we're saying, what's your destination? There are things that you would do. For example, I'm running this YouTube channel right now, and I'm doing it because I was inspired by somebody else who started his own YouTube channel in the way I'm running mine right now. And when I saw what he did, I said to myself, I said, could it be that that man waking up to doing what he did just about 2 years ago has now awakened me to do what I do today? One of the things that has even inspired me to go into consulting was the story I read about a man called Tony Robbins many years ago. And when I read that story, it inspired me to do what I'm doing today. Could it be that somebody else's, you awakening to the things you are supposed to do would inspire somebody to be a better version of themselves? What I'm saying is that there is something that you would do that will wake up others to start to become the best version of themselves. It could be your colleagues at work. It could be your kids. Great salespeople have a sense of destiny at work. They know that when I sell, I'm not just exchanging money for a service. When I sell, there is a kind of impact I'm making that nobody else could have made because of my uniqueness. So I've said, number one, there must be a strong desire. Number two, personal strategy planning. Number three, seeds in your mind. Number four, a sense of destiny. Want to become a seven-figure salesperson? Number five, your routines. The success of your salesperson is hidden in his or her daily routine. What's your daily routine like? What do you do daily? What do you do daily? If you see, a successful life is a combination of successful months, which is a combination of successful weeks, which is a combination of successful days. So the days you live are tied to the weeks that are coming, to the months that are coming, and to the years that are coming, and to not determine the kind of life you will live. Your life cannot be here, and you are saying to yourself that one day I will get here. Don't practice self-deceit and self-delusion. The road to your house cannot be here, but you now decide to pass here, and you think you will arrive here. It's not. See, there is no. Just be honest with yourself. One of the traits of great salespeople is that they are absolutely honest with themselves. Be honest with yourself. Your daily routines, what you do every day right now, if you continue doing it, will it take you to your destination? The people you have seen who are doing well in their sales, are they doing what you are doing every day? If they are doing what you are doing every day, are you sure to take them to that destination? Decide your routines. And there are things that must be in your routine. Number one, you must schedule meetings every day. The effort, before you can schedule meetings, you must be able to get on the phone with prospects, book meetings, schedule meetings. There must be that effort you're making every day. A certain number of calls you must make every day. Decide. If before now you didn't have a certain number of calls, you just did sales, hoping that you'll find the prospects, repent. Change this year. I want to make a certain number of calls. I want to book a certain number of meetings. I will send a certain number of emails. I will go out to a certain number of engagements. Put some numbers to your daily routine. By the way, tomorrow we should be looking at something around building a strong morning routine, and hopefully we'll go deeper into that. But that's one thing you must do. Check your routines. If you look at your routine and you cannot see a connection between doing this thing consistently and getting the outcome you desire, then there's something missing. Number 6, prepare for your meetings strategically. Plan to have strong first impressions. Don't be a seven-figure salesperson. Strong first impressions. And this means you want to make sure that you create a memorable experience every time you meet a prospect. Possibly, maybe today's Monday. Maybe yesterday you came across a prospect, and yesterday was a Sunday. You met the prospect. You probably could not sell to the person at that point in time. You probably scheduled a meeting. When he met you yesterday, was the impression strong enough? Be intentional about your impressions. And there are 3 things you look at for your impressions. Number 1, your appearance, how you appear. Number 2, how you introduce yourself. Number 3, your enthusiasm. People who are excited, people who have energy, people who are enthusiastic come across as charismatic. So you want to make sure that when you meet prospects, they feel your energy. They know that this person is ready to win. And there are things that fuel this energy. The things I've said to you earlier. Your imagination, for example, your sense of destiny. All these things coming to affect how prospects perceive you. I remember I had a meeting many years ago. There was a company I was working with, and one of the bosses, I went to meet her and I said, "Oh, madam, I was trying to remind her of the meeting that we were supposed to have." And she said, "Wow, that's the essence of urgency and the energy with which you speak. I've not seen this before." In my mind, I was like, oh, really? The desire and hunger to succeed. She could feel it. So create that first impression. The next point is choose your target audience and do your research. Choose a target audience. See, your target audience is like a boat, right? The kind of boat you use is what will determine how fast you will get to the other side of the shore or the destination. So look at your industries. Am I going to focus on financial sector, oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, accounting, or am I going to focus on a particular area or demography? Choose your target audience strategically and do your research. Because see, when you do your research and you see the size of the opportunity, it affects your inspiration. It affects your expectation. Then after that, decide the product that's best for them. And when you decide these products, differentiate between the primary features of the products and the secondary features. What do I mean? Primary features talk about what parts of your products do you have in common with the competition. And when it's time to sell, begin from there. Begin from talking about the primary features, what you have in common with the competition, and move to the secondary features, what differentiates you from the competition. You must take out time to differentiate these two things. And you must be able to present it in a systematic order. This means begin with the primary features and strategically move the conversation to secondary features. Because that way, the human mind will be able to flow with your thoughts and start from A, B, C, D, E, or start from 1, 2, 3, which is primary into secondary. That way, they can follow you and know that, hey, this person is different from the rest. Number 9, build your credibility. Every time you go for a meeting, see, people do business with you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So you want to build credibility strong enough such that they know your company because they see your marketing ads. They may like you because they see that you dress well, you come across with energy and conviction. But do they trust you? So build your credibility. Sell your organization. What are the things that make your organization credible enough? If there is no organization to sell, maybe you're a freelancer, sell yourself. What's your personal story? What are the things you've accomplished for clients? Who are the clients you served? Who are your existing clients? If you make reference to existing clients, I remember when my wife was doing a lot of property sales, and whenever she was going to pitch, because she was doing B2B, she was selling properties to companies. Whenever she was pitching, she would say things around, oh,